in the Champions League for the quarterfinals. It'll be PSG versus Liverpool, Real Madrid versus Bayern Munich, Barcelona versus Atlético Madrid, and Sporting CP versus Arsenal. Now, take a look at the managers.
Okay.
Hansi Flick, Diego Simeone. Who do you think is under more pressure coming into these quarterfinal matches?
Diego Simeone. And purely because even though Hansi Flick will be disappointed in what they weren't able to do last year, because he probably would have the quadruple in his mind. I think about this is someone who's won 6 trophies in a season. So the standard that he kind of sets for himself is ridiculous. But because this is what's missing from his cabinet, and I do believe that he's had more years as the leader of Atleti than what's coming in the future. Whenever he decides to leave, it's really up to him. But I do think it's a lot closer than we've probably given ourselves credence for. And he knows this is the one that's eluded him. It gets harder and harder. I think there's been previous years where I've looked at Atleti teams and thought that they could have done better in this competition. And it doesn't get any easier when you look at the road to their final this year. But they do have the quality, but I do believe that they're under more pressure to succeed.
They just talked about giving Cholo Simeone a lifetime contract, right? They've discussed this, right? And I'm looking at Hansi Flick at a Barcelona that over the years has not been afraid to change managers. Right now, Hansi Flick has done a great job. He has said that this is going to be his last club that he's going to coach at. I think Barcelona, because they're the favorite, Hansi Flick might be the guy under a little bit more pressure after what happened last year, getting so close. I always feel like Atletico Madrid, they're like the team that's always chasing the other two, right?
I think he's under more pressure to win this tie, but not necessarily to win the Champions League.
Correct.
I think he's under more pressure to win this from the Barca fans, although Barca fans won't turn on him if they don't win the Champions League. I think it's this particular time. Ultimately, I don't think overall Atleti have enough to win the Champions League. I know he's a master tactician and he can wrestle teams like a python, but I just don't think they have enough in their locker as such. It's another great tie, though. It's an intriguing tie. 2 finals, no trophies. That's heartbreaking.
I'm taking a look at Atleti's upcoming schedule. They play Real Madrid next, then is Barca, then is Barca again. Oof. It is tough for them coming up, definitely.
I feel like they had the same thing at the end of last season. Do you remember when they were
a chance for 3 trophies?
They were
in
really
1
tight,
month?
and
Yeah,
then in 1 month everything just disappeared. So how much they took from that experience last year and can make them better this year is really going to pay credence to whether or not how their approach is going to be in this tie. But from a mental perspective, I know we were talking about mental edge earlier. We've beaten this team over 2 legs already this year. So why can't we do it again? That really has to be the team talk. We've demonstrated we're better than this team over 2 legs, home and away. Let's go and repeat it.
Yeah,
OK, I'm in the other camp. I'm saying they beat us over 2 legs, but they only squeaked past, and we won't make the mistakes we did in the first leg.
I think the coach's speech is easier for Hansi Flick, right? Because it's hard to beat teams 3 times, right? And to see, we talk about it all the time. If I'm Hansi Flick, I'm saying, guys, look what they did to us. Knocked us out of Copa del Rey, won 4-0 in the Metropolitano. Like, that's a fiery type of speech.
Yeah, excuse me. Also, after all that, they also have Sevilla and then Barcelona again. So they actually play, letting Barca go head-to-head before they even play in Champions League. So let's take a look at the panic meter for Barcelona specifically on their chances to advance past Atleti.
If I could have somewhere in between tough tests and practice PKs, because I do think it will be a little bit tighter than people are giving it credit for, I would say somewhere around there. Just purely because I do think that the emotional aspects will play a role, and also the experience. And I do wonder if some of the demons from last year will start to creep back into their minds because of the inexperience. It's got nothing to do with Barcelona's ability. Barcelona as a starting 11 are phenomenal. But when you get to this stage of the Champions League, it is more of a mental test than it ever is a physical one. And I just wonder whether or not they can handle the mental edge over both games.
Yeah. All right, well, let's move on to another match.